green. Red lotus too. I see the moon from me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. I see friends shaking hands, say, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
That Blasian guy's right. It is a wonderful world.
I think we need to make blackface great again.
It's funny. It's only, he didn't have to darken himself up too much.
I don't know, man. That's a pretty good blackface.
No, it was good. He's got the, they already have general nose shape and everything. So, they can make that leap a little easier than us.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
There he is.
Hey, what's up?
What up, Trey?
How goes it, you guys?
Fine. We were trying to dawdle a little bit so you could catch up. Good timing. We just started, made a couple racist jokes just to kill some time. You know how we go.
Hey, that's how
We did the
traditionally
Korean,
start the show anyway.
did the Korean Louis
Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I said we should make blackface great again.
Oh,
So my
wife
does a lot of plays with kids, and I always keep telling her, like, every time she does a play, I'm like, you should do like something in like The Wiz, but it's all white kids, like, but you should do it in blackface. That'd be great. Or like Dr. Seuss is just in blackface.
I sent you guys the picture in the group chat. It was from the South Park where they go to steal the whale. And they're all dressed as burglars, but then Token, who's black, his face was painted white. His face was painted black.
That's awesome.
That's such a good episode, Wilsiak. Oh, shoot. Of course, I don't think we got to be careful with our South Park clips on here.
Yeah,
South Park and Simpsons and those they're like really copyright heavy on their kind of stuff.
We've been Hulu has South Park now, which is kind of cool. I sort of stopped, I don't know, I guess it would have been like 2010, 2011 when the legalized weed / illegalized Kentucky Fried Chicken episode, about that period. And so we're sort of there right now. We started watching through them again because that was about where I stopped. So I've seen all these like ones. Last night was the human centipede. Oh my dear Christ, that's horrible.
No.
And then the wife,
one?
she's seen both the Human Centipede and Human Centipede 2. And if you want to watch them, like, fuck no. There is just the concept of those movies makes me sick.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen either of those episodes. I have not watched a lot of South Park episodes. Like maybe the first 3 or 4 seasons I've watched.
My favorite one,
I think they're the best. Yeah.
My favorite one of the newer kind of episodes is the one where the one where there's like a kind of like a couple in sequence there of what's it, Randy takes up a weed farm, like, and he has a whole weed farm, and then he starts trying to like outsource it to like sell to China and stuff like this, like, so there's a whole bit with that. So like he's trying to like export his his weed to China and everything. So hilarious.
Yeah, it started getting like where I'm at, it's still episode to episode, but then it started getting like it's like one long story, and I was just like, it's so. I tried to watch some of them.
They're trying to make like a South Park cinematic universe kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just I gotta ease myself into it. And now that I'm like 10 to 12 years behind, I might get a lot more of the pop culture references because that got to be a thing too. To be a new episode, and I wouldn't know what the fuck they were talking about. I don't know who these singers are, or what.
The reference was too new for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's you know how it is when you get older. It's like I can finally say I can finally use the word like plug. Where like when people started saying plug like 10 years, it just didn't sound right coming out of my mouth. But now I can say it, it sounds okay. Or like, oh shit, that's dope. Like you got to be a few years behind. Otherwise you just sound like some fogey. So you start to catch up, and yeah, you start to get references that are like 4 years old, or make references that are like 4 years old, and that's where like if I had kids, they'd go, "Dad, that's so you don't know what you're talking about. That's so old." I'm like, what do you mean? That shit just happened. Like 3 years before you were born. That's not old.
Yeah, no, like it's funny because even like I tell my son like about about stuff that happened like or like Google or whatever, like yeah, I was around like just like basically Google came around like while I was like 5 years old or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no way, like Google's been around for like ever, like it's so old, so you're so old or something. Like it's like
yeah, we used to use Ask Jeeves and Yahoo for
yeah.
I remember
Jeeves sucks so bad.
I was like in middle school. She's like, oh, use this instead of Yahoo, it's better.
Yeah, the old internet was interesting. A little bit more fun.
Early Quora was okay, but now Quora like is weird.
What is Quora?
That's Microsoft's.
It's basically Ask Jeeves, like after Ask Jeeves.
Remember the paper Clippy?
Oh, Clippy. Yeah. It looks like your bowl is clogged. Do you need help with that? Oh, yes. I remember Clippy.
Did you want to say go fuck yourself? Like, yes, I did. Clippy.
Are you
too
extra sure that's what you want to say?
It's like old Twitter. Are you sure you want to say this to this person? Yes, I want to tell them to go die.
Yeah, I was.
I love when it had Twitter. That pop up. Like I only got it like 5 times, but I was like, man, and I'm not even saying something bad. I'm just telling somebody like you're stupid or you're retarded about something.
That was back before Elon had it, and it was all. A lot of it was
gayified.
Yeah, they had all the fun blocked.
Oh, then what happens when you fire 80% of the people? There's no one around to ask you if you want to. Are you sure you want to post this?
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
Speaking of, are you sure you want to post this? I'm wondering if Will Ferrell was, or if he wanted to post this.
Oh, is this about? Have you guys heard about that movie? His movie documentary thing.
Nope.
Oh, okay. I'll find a clip. Go ahead and play it. Unless that's what this is about.
Apparently, there's this. I don't know who this Billy on the Street guy is. Maybe he's somebody that I've never heard of, but apparently he's with Will Ferrell, and they're loud white men for Kamala.
Oh, that
somebody
guy,
gay.
That guy's in all sorts of shit. Hold on, before you play, that guy was in Parks and Rec. I think was where he got like his big thing, and then he's got a whole thing. He goes on the street and talks to people. Yes, he's very loud and gay. But he's funny sometimes.
I think I've seen some clips, maybe, but I don't know. I don't fully get the reference.
When I see these two together, I hear Mr. Burns saying, "What are you going to do? Something gay, no doubt."
Yes.
One and only Will Ferrell, and we are out here today to represent a very important voting demographic: loud white men for Kamala Harris. So you ready, Will? Sir, we're loud white men for Kamala. Join the call.
Join the call.
Hell yeah, I'm in. Yeah, who are you voting for?
Kamala Harris.
Yes, exactly. Have you voted yet?
Mail-in ballot. Right.
Oh, mail-in ballot, bitch! Miss, for $1, would you have sex with a Trump voter?
No.
Thank you. Sir, we're loud white men for Kamala. Join the call.
Yes.
Yes.
I support Kamala.
Yes, that's not that loud, but Louder.
Oh, louder.
Yes.
I support Kamala.
Louder.
That kind of looks like he's got. I don't know. I'm sure this is an actor, but
I support Kamala.
Yeah. Miss, did you hear if Kamala wins, she's going to make Buddy the Elf Secretary of Christmas?
That would be phenomenal.
Would you have sex with a Trump voter?
Ugh.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sir, loud white men for Kamala. Join the call. Go Kamala! Yeah! For $1, for $1, for $1. Who are you voting for? Yes, there you go. Yes,
So they bought her vote.
I have to go. Yeah.
It's every time Trump would do something, they'd be like, he's buying votes, because he paid for all the food at McDonald's.
yeah.
Tell everyone in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania to vote for Kamala.
East Stroudsburg, vote for Kamala.
Please, sir. Loud white men for Kamala. Join the call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you voting for?
Kamala.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Corey.
Fuck you.
Yeah. That would be great. Like,
How many of those do they have to edit out where the guy is like, fuck off? I'm not
Dude, it being in a city, they got better odds. Like try that in a small town.
Yeah, but Trump.
Yeah, come down here where there's like all kinds of like literally Trump flags right down my street here.
Yeah, but
and all kinds of Trump Vance
Trump had
signs.
30,000 people in Madison Square Garden, plus like another 60,000 standing outside of it. Like,
Oh,
But
yeah,
you gotta
of
count
course
some
they
of those. Some of
exist.
those
We're
people
just
probably
saying,
travel too.
statistically, you go to downtown St. Pete. Yeah, there's people voting for Trump, but you're gonna hit the honey hole there. Compared to a lot of places.
We all know that those were all
That
paid
may be
actors.
like
There's no reason. There's no way that they
Yes, several of them you could tell. You get the feeling.
The
So
one
Will
old
Ferrell,
dude I swear I saw in Seinfeld at one time.
Will Ferrell did a documentary recently, and he made it. He said it had to come out, like he wanted it to be released like a month or two before the election. So I guess it would have some sort of a political effect. But this is the go away.
I'm Will Ferrell, one of the greatest actors in the world. A long time ago, back when I was at Saturday Night Live, I met a guy who was hired as a writer the same week I was hired. He wrote a bunch of sketches for me and eventually became the head writer.
Hold on one second before we go on to this. I want to say that Will Ferrell and that loud white guys for Camaros, loud white guys for loud Camaros. He looked like he's becoming a character from one of his movies with his hair. Like he kind of looked like the guy from
Yes.
Zoolander. Okay.
Yes.
Now seeing these, I'm like, oh, this just looks like him now.
Writer of SNL. And over the years, he became one of my closest friends. And then one day I got this email. Hey, Will, something I need you to know. I'll be transitioning to live as a woman.
I don't doubt that Will is my friend, but I'm not Andrew Steele anymore.
It was just,
I'm some ugly broad.
I love this country so much. I just don't know if it loves me back right now.
Harper, would you want to do a road trip as this new version of yourself and at the same time figure out what this all means to us?
Will Ferrell's a homo? Is what he's saying?
This is the Hollywood movie stuff.
Homo adjacent.
Okay. That's okay. Roll up the window.
Were you a little worried about how to talk
Right,
to me when
that's
I...
enough. Sorry, that's all we really need. He's doing a documentary about
like,
trans friends.
is it
They
for
go on a
real?
road trip.
I don't really understand what's going on.
They go on a road trip. I guess it's just, I don't know, to make people sympathetic to trans people or something. Which, I mean, like, look, if you have an old friend and they, like, you don't necessarily have to say "fuck you, freak." You know what I mean? But it's also, you don't need to make a documentary about it. Right here, that demand that the country accept, love you, or like I don't demand that of my country, or I don't really give a fuck, But that's just me too. When I first got engaged to my wife a long time ago, her I don't think her mom cared for me, a whole heck of a lot, and her mom was kind of like, yeah, of course, hey, I say, hey man, I'm the best she's gonna do. Deal with it. But like she tells her mom, and her mom like wasn't very excited. She got engaged, and her mom's like, when Bob, her husband, before he proposed to me, he went and asked my parents. And this was like second husband, like they were like in their 40s or 50s. He asked my parents for permission first. Why didn't Dee do that? you know? And, you know, I was thinking to myself, like, why the fuck do I care? You know, like I get like the old and respectable, whatever. And maybe if I was like, you know, we're 18 or some shit, or our families were all friends or some shit. But it's like, what if she said no? I was gonna go, okay, bye, woman I love. Your mom doesn't want me to marry you. Bye. Like, why do I give a fuck? You know, like really, like it doesn't really have much bearing on me. I know it's not traditional or whatever, but like seriously, like I don't give a fuck, you know. So I don't know.
So how do you really feel about it, Doug?
That's, you know, I mean, we get along fine now. Me and her mom, you know, I think after everything that's happened in the last decade or so, I think she's warmed up to me a bit, you know.
I think I get 50-50 from my mother-in-law. It's like she's glad that I'm like taking care of, you know, my wife and the kids, but like she's also probably thinks like I'm a dick. So
yeah, there's got to be like the thing where it's like, oh, I wish like this or that, but as long as you're doing your job of like husband and father, it's kind of hard for them to be actually pissed, right? If,
yeah, exactly.
If you're like laid off 6 months out of the year, then it's like, okay, it's, you know, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I get different vibes from my mother-in-law or not.
I asked my ex-father-in-law for permission to ask my ex to marry me.
Your new wife.
And then excuse me. And then her whole family hated me the entire time we were married. And then when we got divorced, I basically decided to like stop like hiding all the problems and stuff. And when they asked me like what was going on with the divorce, I just straight up told them like, look, this is everything that's happened for the last like 10 fucking years. Like I've reached my wits end. And then everybody loved me. And it was like, oh shit, he's actually a really good dude. And then I also found out that like the reason they hated me the whole time was because she had been lying to him and telling them terrible shit about me for literally a decade. So, yay! My father-in-law and mother-in-law now both really like me. So I guess I'm doing all right.
That's good.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it? Like
It's also, if you're like the second husband, it's either really easy to be loved or really hard, depending on who that first husband was. You know what I mean? Oh, he was a firefighter and died saving a baby. You're gonna have a hard time topping that. You know what I mean? But you know, if he was a piece of shit or abusive or something, you got an easy road.
The first one, so my wife's first husband was pretty well useless, and then her second husband was black. So I was a big step up from both of those.
You're gonna say like, but I repeat myself or something. I remember like the Aurora, Colorado, like the movie theater shooting. There was a lot of stories of like, you know, boyfriends die, like they threw themselves on top of their girlfriends and got shot and died. And I was like, there's gonna be no man who can compete after that. You know what I mean? Like that girl, you know what I mean? Like she's never gonna be able to find a man good enough if the first boyfriend died being a human shield for her. You know, like you can't top that.
2 weeks, man. 2 weeks.
She'll get over it, you think?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Oh, as soon as she gets the urge, you know, like,
yeah.
Dude, have you seen some of the vile stuff on the internet lately? There have been some who literally do exactly that, Dag. Like they're like their husband. No, there was one. Her husband like got in a car accident, and she was like cucking him like while he was alive. Like he's still alive. He had an accident. He was paralyzed.
Well,
we played that video, right? Where she was like,
I think
with
have,
some other, yeah. So like, and he's sitting there paraplegic, and she's like, her and her new boyfriend are going upstairs while he's sitting downstairs. Like,
yeah, she calls him like brother now. Like it's just like, oh, this is my brother. Like,
so I gotta say something. I read plenty like those posts about like, you know, women being terrible and this and that, you know, and that's fine, you know, some of they, you know, they made me laugh or whatever. But I have like one or two like Facebook friends that's like all they fucking share, and then they have to comment about how horrible like women today are and this and that. And I'm just like, I wouldn't see this shit if you didn't post it. So like, how much time do you spend searching for this kind of content? Like, is this just because we all have our thing that we like to learn about because it makes us mad, right? But it's like that's your thing that you go out of your way to seek to get your anger dopamine. You know, it's just like, I don't know, dude. It's like you're kind of creating your own world in that regard. You know what I mean? Like I've known some shitty people, and I've had some not excellent, I don't want to say girlfriends, but lovers. You know, but like never anything like that. So like that, if that's that, like, okay, they probably got like really cheated on really hardcore at one point or something, and they're like jaded at this point in their life or something, you know. But like, I don't know, dude. Like, just tone it down, you know. Like, maybe it's not that common.
Steve, I got your
Yeah,
off-camera avatar added,
Yeah.
so you can change over.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You click
That's a
the
nice way to say
There's not all bad women out there. There's some women that are like this.
Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah, them things push up and tight, huh?
blah, 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 blah.
I do understand this. I do understand.
She was saying some really important stuff there.
Yes, she said something.
I mean,
But yeah, I get it. Like, there's a point where, like, I make fun of it just because that's one of my favorite things to laugh at, especially like if you're on Twitter or whatever. There's so many delusional women who are like, the funniest thing to me. Okay, like,
oh, where is it?
The funniest thing to me is like women telling other women that, like, yes, you can still have, you can still have perfectly healthy children at 40. Like, just like it is like, just screw having children early. Like, have children at like 40. They tell all these young girls like that. Like, yeah, you can just have children at 40. It's so easy.
That my kids are teenagers. I'm 40. I'm like, whenever I go home and spend time with my 5-year-old nephew, he wears me out. I couldn't do that shit. I couldn't have.
Yeah, I'm 50, man.
toddlers.
No. Anybody under like 18, 17, no way. Hell no.
Fuck that.
Oh,
I
yeah,
started too late.
Carlos. Oh, Carlos is talking about one. Yeah, there's one chick that she did 1,000 dudes in one day. Let's see. Hold on.
No, she did 100 dudes in one day, and she said
No,
she wants
she-
to do 1,000 dudes in one day.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
All
There's
right,
no
so think
soul
of-
left.
well, think of like-
What was that chick's name? Dallas 500. What was that?
How would
Wasn't
you
it
like to
that-
be like
like
number
the
like
90s who did that?
600? Like that'd be just disgust. Like
Yeah, well, they each there's a whole like process too. So it's like
Right here.
they each only get like 10 seconds usually. And the really funny thing about like those,
I'm really
It's
glad
like
I don't know these things.
the guy like fifth in line back, he's just got to like, you got to try to stay hard because you got to be ready when the time comes. So like every like in like up to like half a dozen guys back, they're just sort of. Sorry, I can't say this with his fucking kid on the screen. Houston, yes, the Houston 500. Yes, thank you. Yeah, that was it. Because she did it a couple times, and then when she had her pussy reconstructed, she sold slivers of it on the internet on eBay. But yeah, there's okay.
You can say it, Dag. He can't.
I know. It's just I don't feel like saying
Uh,
guys tugging their soft dick in front of a kid, even when he can't hear it. It just feels weird.
I cover him up here. In the screen here.
Thank you. That's just the funny thing about those, because they've been the Houston, like that was from like the 90s, I think, when they started doing that. So yeah, you got to hit 1,000 now. Right. I have this video.
Still, like it's insane that anyone would even think of doing that, and like she has to have like some kind of STD now. Like,
hopefully they usually on
she has
those
them
they-
all. Like at least 2 or 3 of them each.
So some behind the scenes porn on those. Usually they have to be tested, and on something like that, they usually have to wear a condom. But she probably had a disease from another thing.
I don't want to know.
I'm not telling you to join in, Steve. But we can talk about the ins and outs of the porn industry.
look, Steve only has eyes for women.
I didn't even get it.
See,
It took you that long to get your own joke.
I don't remember what made me think of this. Something we talked about like 2 seconds ago, but I like this clip, so we're gonna watch it here.
Because she's made of hellfire.
Not.
All right. What if you were stranded on a desert island with her? Murder, suicide? Okay. Picture Jackie in a little bikini made out of coconuts.
Where's our signal fire? And don't give me any boo-hoo. My
I
hands
hear
are
it
bleeding.
beg.
Suck it up. Oh, damn, I got a splinter. You couldn't grab the tweezers as the ship was going down? Moron.
Well, that was unpleasant. Okay, try it again. But this time, do what I do. Good God, she is hot.
It's just like, hey, if she didn't talk, like,
Yeah.
But it's funny because I didn't think she was hot like back in the day. And it was kind of for that reason, you know, because she's such a fucking bitch.
yeah, like the way she
Well,
sounds.
speaking of that, we got this wonderful clip. Maybe.
Steve's booming it up.
Nonsense. But I'm telling you, even for me, and I voted for Donald Trump last week, it was too brotastic. Okay? It was. You're trying to win an election in which you're hemorrhaging female voters.
Again, here.
Maybe
Here we go.
when you present.
It works.
I
It
don't know if that works for this one. I don't know. Not doing it for
fine.
me.
Her eyes
Jeez.
are a little too far apart.
Yeah,
She's
she's got
beautiful.
this. She looks like Sid a little bit too much.
Yeah, but
She looks like all the women who lived in the town I grew up in the early 90s, who like hung out at
the
the paint
problem with
salon.
that would be like I don't get it, still don't get it.
Yeah,
Well, just-
she
well, no, it's
she looks
perfect
like
for
she
you
worked at Babes down the
age-wise.
street.
Yeah, but to me, it looks like one of my mom's friends. So
Oh.
See,
Hey,
Carlos,
you know-
Carlos, the problem with this is in that scenario, it's really the case of Ricky Bobby. Like if you ain't first, you're last.
yeah, 36th, 37th, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. So say,
Hey,
like, man,
unless
being-
you know, if you are last, at least it's a. I don't know.
No, there's no.
Trey's trying to come up with a
Trey, it doesn't
preferable
work
reason to
like
be last.
that. I'm sorry.
Maybe I don't want it to feel good.
No, I think I would want to go last. That way, there's no pressure on me to like finish quick and just be like, all right,
Yeah.
like that, like you're done after this. The record has been set. Like as long as we don't cross over into tomorrow, then
You're the record-setting guy. That's
Yeah.
the cool thing about being last. Yeah. Yeah, but
That's what
I'm
I
the
was gonna do.
dude who set the fucking record. Yeah, she took all the dicks, but if it wasn't for me being the last one in there, she'd still be $4.99. Who wants to be $4.99? 500. That's where you want to be. Yep. All right.
Now you see where I was gonna go with that. Yeah.
I'm all on board, Trey. Sorry, I
Good
doubted you.
recovery, Trey. Good recovery. Stuck the landing there.
Oh fuck.
she said,
So did you guys hear Joe Biden calling everybody garbage?
"Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I got it."
I thought that was Tony Hinchcliffe.
No,
Well, yeah.
Speaking of Tony, we can do that, and then
Can we
we'll
show that? I didn't know if we could show that one.
We
I
did.
brought Beyonce to the rally and she doesn't even sing. Like, dude, I imagine like, hey, they're gonna have free. Beyonce's gonna be there. You know,
She was
free
on
people.
stage less time than those guys get in that 1,000.
Oh, that was great, Steve.
Ugh.
So on Monday they were talking about this, and I was I had access to cable, so I was flipping through the news, and I saw on all the MSNBCs and this and that. They're talking about
The
this
amenities of
comedian.
being in a hospital room.
Yeah, this comedian that made these jokes, and all they talked about was the the Puerto Rican garbage island joke, and they didn't say who, they just said comedian, right? And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, not seeing any clips or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know, like obviously I like offensive humor and what have you, but I'm like, as far as I didn't know all the jokes or whatever, I just heard the one, and I'm like, I think Puerto Ricans are like technically Americans. They vote, and they're like, oh, Bad Bunny's coming out. I'm like, Bad Bunny doesn't matter, but this and that. I'm sort of pondering the pros and cons of, I know that Trump didn't make the joke, or whatever, but like, oh, is that really like a wise move at a campaign thing? And then when I heard yesterday, you guys mentioned it was like Tony Hinchcliffe, I went, oh, suddenly I don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, it's Tony, who cares? Like, It's hilarious. Like whatever. You know what I mean? It's not suddenly all my pros and cons of politics and campaigns and this and that. Just like, fuck it. It's Tony. He's
Right.
hilarious.
It's like, but if you don't know Kill Tony and you don't know like his comedy style, then you would think, oh my gosh, that's so terrible. Except that if you actually listen to the set as compared to like the Tom Brady roast, the set that he did at Madison Square Garden was incredibly tame. Like, and the floating pile of garbage out in the ocean, Puerto Rico, like it was just a throwaway one-off. Like it wasn't even a big thing. It was like in passing. If you weren't paying attention, you would have missed it. Like, I don't know. It was the way that they reacted to it, and then like the what was it? Scarborough was saying he called Puerto Ricans trash. Like, no, he said that Puerto Rico is trash, and also like I don't know, for the last 6 or 7 years, there's been multiple reports about how Puerto Rico is literally overflowing with trash. Like they can't manage their landfills. It's becoming like a massive crisis. But if you don't know all of this stuff, that it's just like, oh yeah, it was like that's so terrible. We call Puerto Ricans trash. Like, no,
well, the media pounces
know
on anything. The media will pounce on anything that's said by Trump or Vance, for that matter.
Right. What
anyone
was
around
on the
him,
news was
like-
that they didn't condemn. All these people came up after Tony and didn't condemn his jokes, so they're just as guilty. Because that's what people do. They come up and every person, hey, that guy who spoke first sucks. Okay, now on to my thing. Like, who the fuck would do that anyhow?
But then you get Biden, who literally calls half of America garbage.
Only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
To just be grossly journalistic, you could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
No, only half though.
Yeah, but remember, she lost.
Yeah.
It's sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. And unfortunately, there are people like that.
She's not a lot Islamophobic.
Yeah.
How many of them did she kill?
He has given
No.
voice to their website. We only have 11,000 people.
All right, that's enough of Hillary.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
we
many
got,
people
we,
did
we
she
got
have
rid of her
thrown
after
on?
2016.
Thank heavens, huh?
Do you remember that election? Like how many times like she was about passing out, like as she's walking somewhere and pushing her back
car,
into vans and
dude, the one where they like pull her into the car, like we got to see that live. Like honestly, like I wonder if that actually lost her the election more than just like the basket of deplorables and all this kind of stuff. Just people hating Hillary.
No, I
in
think it's
general.
because she's an evil, awful person, and that's what lost her the election. Is that she's evil and awful? Like,
I don't know. For some reason, I felt like a lot more energy for like the first female president thing was going on for her than like Kamala.
that's because that's
I
what the
don't
news
feel-
wanted you to believe.
No, but I mean, like, I don't even like. What I'm saying is, like, now I don't even feel like there's a lot of people who are into it for that. Like they're not in. Like, if they're voting for Kamala, they're voting. They know they're voting against Trump. Like before,
They're just voting. They're only voting against Trump. Which
Yeah.
I believe you had the same energy for Hillary. It was only to vote against Trump.
I don't know. I do feel like there were some people who were like, Hillary first woman.
Yeah, no,
president."
I agree with you, Trey.
I think that was like a small.
I haven't heard anybody be like, "Yay, first woman president" this time. Where that was a thing then. And I'll say the other way
I
too.
definitely
Like,
wouldn't say it was Big Mike.
most people vote for her to vote against like Trump, like Kamala, and I also say that a ton of people vote for. Or I had a friend say the other day, "Oh, you can't have anybody who's like pro-Trump who can't like evoke Kamala as like why they're voting for Trump." So that means he's not good. And I'm like, right. And I can say the same thing too. Like if I talk to anybody who's like pro like Trump, I'm like, yeah, I don't love him, but I'm supposed to vote for Kamala. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of the same thing. I think that's basically what two-party politics is, right? Isn't that lesser two evils thing we've heard forever? But it's just gotten so much more like that because,
Well, I think it's because you
nobody has
have
shit
like
off of-
such flawed people who are trying to like if you had somebody who was like a super clean, like I mean, even when Mitt Romney first ran or whatever, like other than like he was a pretty like clean cut guy,
Yeah, but he had binders full of women.
binders, bro.
See, but who does it? Okay, I mean, I've got a few binders back here too.
It's old school, man. Now we keep them in our phones, but we used to have binders. You know.
Yeah. See, he just hadn't evolved with the times yet. See, Steve, he didn't have a folder on his desktop for it. Okay?
Well, they're Mormon. You know, I guess Mormons do have binders of women. they got a lot of them. Got a lot to keep track of.
Oh shit!
This wife is in this room of the house. That wife is in that room. You know,
My wife said she wanted to spend more time with her best friend, so I married her.
Well, I was about to say, pull that up though.
Oh, yeah, that was Islam folks in that clip. Oh, what was that on?
I sent it to you.
Was that Insta?
Yeah, I got it. Hang on.
Okay.
Did you guys see that Kamala Harris agreed to do Joe Rogan, but only if it was in her location?
She basically declined.
Это моя жена.
This is my wife.
Чего ты хотела?
What did you wish for? I wanted to spend more time with my friend.
Правильно.
All right.
Я решил твою
Did I solve
проблему.
your problem? Yes, you did.
Знакомьтесь, это моя вторая жена Сакинат.
Сакинат.
Подруга ее.
Her friend.
That's
not what I...
Сакинат, добро пожаловать в семью. Основали.
It's one way to do it.
The second wife looked really happy to be there. The first wife, not so much.
Can't pronounce the name, so I just call her Thundercat.
It's because now she has the competition of them. it's like, oh man, like now.
Yeah, man, they got to show up.
The second one may have got a BBL, you know.
So I see our show title is Vance going on Rogan.
Yeah, well, so Steve was talking about it. Kamala Harris is not going on Rogan. They had proposed doing it on Tuesday, yesterday, but they wanted Rogan to come to her, and they were only going to do an hour. And I don't remember if there were any other stipulations, but like basically, it's not going to be the Joe Rogan experience because they're not doing it. They're not doing it there, and they're putting like a hard time limit on it.
And I think they had restrictions on like they wanted to know the question. Well, I don't know if they had restrictions on questions, but they wanted to know the question beforehand or something like that.
Well, I mean, and that's not how the Joe Rogan, like he doesn't ask questions.
It's a conversation,
right?
Yeah.
But JD Vance is going to be going on Rogan today, so that should be. I think Vance might actually do.
He'll kill it.
Yeah, I think Vance might actually do as good, if not better, than what Trump did. Like Trump was fine; he did ramble.
Tim Dillon?
Yeah, I have no interest in listening to either, but I think the Vance one would be better or more pleasant on my ear holes than listening to Trump for 3 hours.
I think the Trump interview was good. I think it made him so for people that aren't like in love with Trump or don't want to vote for him, but are going to vote for him. I think it was good for those people. It wasn't a lot of meat. It wasn't a great interview, but it made Trump seem calm and human.
Yeah, like there's never a lot of meat when you're talking like having a conversation with Trump. Like he doesn't really know anything, but like you said, if it makes him seem human and normal and even keeled, that's a plus for him because that's what.
Yeah, did you listen to the interview? Honestly, no.
Did I?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. But that's why
I should. Because
you really
Trump
should.
is knowledgeable. Trump is actually he's actually pretty knowledgeable. He's actually somewhat smart. What I think he does though is he says things like we would, and so it sounds dumb. You know,
I think Trump talks like a high schooler, and he's never got past that.
No, Trump has a Fox News level education on like anything, like economics or something. So it's like talking to you guys. So I get why you guys would love it. But that's why
that was a slap.
Yeah. Well, like I've heard like clips of it and the shit he says, and like I don't agree with that. The stuff that he says. But like you said, Steve, if he comes off as sounding even keeled and not insane, and not as Trumpian, so to speak, as like he could, I could definitely see that being a positive in the campaign or swaying people or making people feel more.
He was talking about. So he was knowledgeable. He was discussing in depth or whatever about the wind turbines and talking about how that they affected sperm whales or whatever, and then it caused them to like disrupt their
the vibration
location.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a decent interview for Rogan. It was a good interview. It just, he seemed calm, but I do think Vance is going to kill it. Did you guys watch the entire Vance clip from Jake Tapper?
Yeah, we played that on Monday.
No, I know we played it, but I didn't know if anybody watched the entire interview.
Oh, the whole interview?
No.
Dude, Tapper is a piece of shit. Like, you do not hate the media enough. No, it's worse. It's worse than... It is probably the worst, most hostile interview I have ever seen from a reporter to anybody. It was, and then he lied probably 6 times. He's like, I didn't say that. And he literally just got done saying what he said he wasn't saying. It's worth the watch just to help you hate the media even more than you already do.
Bookmarking it now.
Yeah, you need to watch it. It's worth the watch. But and the big thing with Rogan, like, even if he disagrees with somebody, he doesn't like shit on them. He doesn't scream at them or tell them they're idiots or assholes, or he'll have the conversation. I'm not a huge Rogan fan. I used to listen to him a lot more, not in the last couple of years, but he is a good interviewer.
Yeah, it's a good conversationalist. I don't listen to it. Shows are fucking long.
He's the number one interviewer in the country. Like, he's good. He's there for a reason.
Which, if you would have told me that like 20-something years ago when I was watching him on Fear Factor, I would have been like, shut the fuck up. This guy's gonna be like the biggest like journalist, I guess you could say, in the fucking country.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
But I think that's why the left went off on that whole fact that he was going on there, like the worst person ever is interviewing Trump, like, because they know how good he is, and they know how many millions of people listen to his show.
Meanwhile, Kamala's going on what was it?
Shannon Sharp.
Was it Shannon Sharp and Color Daddy? Like,
oh gosh, did you see her on Shannon? Did you see her on Shannon Sharp, where she says Trump is gonna do away with the First and Second Amendments? She basically took the entire leftist playbook for the last 20 years, everything that they have been openly trying to do, and just says this is what Trump's going to do. Never mind that it's literally what the Democrats have been attempting to do for our entire lives, but she just basically threw it over and said that that's what Trump's going to do. And then just see the clip where she said she's gonna like shut down the border and sit and so they're all pissed off about Trump talking about deportations, but Kamala Harris starts talking about deportations, and now all of a sudden we're all on board with deportations. I'm like,
and she won't.
Can they just pick a fucking lane? That's all I really want. Just pick a fucking lane.
And when I'm president, we will quickly remove those who arrive here unlawfully, prosecute the cartels, and give Border Patrol the support they so desperately need.
Does she not realize she's in charge now? Like, does she not understand this?
You are the border czar.
She hasn't understood it for the last 4 years, dude.
No, I think
honestly,
she understands it, but that
Trump's best,
just shows that it's not. She's not going to do shit about it.
I think that's Trump's best line of attack, though, is like, hey, you've been in office 4 years. Like, why are you not doing, like, I'm going to do these things when I'm president. Well, I'll actually have the power to be president, and I'll actually do those things. It's like, you were given, like, if you're at least the border, at the minimum, the border, you were titled the border czar. They literally called you that. And then now they want to rip that away and say that you weren't the border czar.
Yeah, I mean, because you can always make the argument, well, vice president may only have so much power they're given. But yeah, if that's the thing, like your committee, they usually have something, right? Some sort of
one thing that they do.
Yeah,
like,
some
I mean, Biden healed cancer.
Otherwise, they're just co-pilot in case, the other one kicks the bucket, right?
Yeah.
So, like, so it's like, okay, it's one thing to, you've been in charge for 4 years. It'd be easy to say, well, that's not really the case. But yeah, when it comes to something like the border, if your title is the border czar, it's kind of hard to make that argument at that point.
I will say, as somebody who has always loved watching politics, I remember in the debate between Gore and Bush, Gore was talking about something, and Bush was like, "Why didn't you just go down the hall and do it?" Like he's like, "You had 4 years or 8 years to deal with it." But yeah, I mean, she's had the time to do it, and she hasn't done it.
Well, she has had the time to tour a semiconductor plant, apparently.
We're actually a harvested U-rod. We actually do grow it. So this is what it looks like when it comes out of our process of
I don't know what a semiconductor is.
She was like, can I touch the thing? Oh, this is a serious piece of equipment or whatever, like and stuff like that. It's like, can I touch it? Like a kid.
I'm glad so please do not touch any of the pellets. Very sharp. Yeah, very sharp.
Okay,
so with that being said,
very sharp and shiny. It's so shiny.
So my wife and son went and saw Vance yesterday speak.
Oh, was he speaking?
They said he was pretty good. I posted a video, like my other son and I were driving out to Detroit yesterday and caught Vance's motorcade driving.
Does he has his own motorcade?
Dude, there was at least 10 big black SUVs, and there had to have been 40 cop cars all over the road. They're shutting down the road as he's driving through.
Dang,
they were flying, man. They were doing like 80.
Got places to go and people to see. Shit to do.
Yeah.
Important
You
vice
gotta wrap
president.
everything up.
Things to go.
Say you got to wrap everything up so you can fly out to Texas and do Rogan.
Yeah.
Like,
Rogies.
Yeah.
Rogies. We gotta go see the Rogies.
Rogers. Fear Factor. His stand-up was good too. I remember his stand-up specials and stuff from back in the day. They were pretty decent. He looks a hell of a lot shorter than he actually is.
Yeah, he actually still does stand-up. I think he's like he
owns a comedy club there, and he does I think he does a set like every night. Yeah, but he does like a set there every night. Supposedly he's good.
Isn't he like 5'10"?
That's what I read online. We were watching a special going, God damn, he's like short. Because he's like, the way he was like doing like a handstand on like the stool, like him in comparison to the stool, he didn't look much taller than the stool. So like we looked it up, it said he's 5'10", right? That's not that short. But then again, actors
he stands around
and
like
such have been known to put out false heights online. It's kind of hard to. Yeah, it's kind of hard to know exactly how tall they
like
are.
basketball
sometimes.
players. You know, like there's some basketball players. They'll say they're like even the really tall ones. Like they'll say they're like, oh, I'm like a 7. Like Shaq was like 7. It said he was like 7'4", and I think he was like really like 7'2",
7'1", 7'2". Yeah. Well, remember Kevin Garnett refused to let them list him as 7 foot. Like he was listed at 6'11", even though he was actually like 7'1". But he did not want. He wanted to be listed at 6'11", even though he was taller. Yeah, it's funny.
Did you guys see that they? Not that I'm a huge fan of him, but Giuliani got all of his money taken away from him for some couple of chicks in.
Oh yeah, that's old news.
Yeah. Well, I just saw it the other day.
I think they just now wrapped up the trial.
It was like $100 million they took from him for like saying that the election was not fair.
Yeah, that's fucking insane.
Well, they took. Did you see they were selling off because of the Alex Jones thing? They're going to sell off his whole media company, including his own social media handle. Supposedly, I don't know how that works. That's against terms of service on the every social media site ever. So how are they going to make him sell his social media account? I don't.
Elon just needs to step in and buy it.
Yeah, like buy it for him. Like here, Alex Jones, like you can have your account.
I mean,
back.
what Elon could probably get all of that for a couple mil or a couple billion. Like,
yeah, and to be fair, like how relevant, like other than memes, how relevant is Alex Jones now? Really, I mean, let's be honest. Like I just don't see it.
I don't know. I like Alex Jones. He's fun.
I wouldn't say was he ever really that relevant, but I guess he was more in the zeitgeist of existence, more so in the past. But he was always, kind of a joke.
Yeah.
Or like whenever I'd see like what was like the news outlet from back in the day that he was on? what was that called?
Infowars.
Infowars. Yeah.
That's still his channel.
Like when you be like driving around and I'm talking 12, 14 years ago, and you see like Infowars sticker on somebody's car, you'd be like, oh, you're that type of person. Not necessarily that I wouldn't get along with you, but that I just know a little something about what to expect when I meet you. At that point, that's the Infowars sticker on your car. And hey, I'm a conspiracy guy. You know me.
I like Infowars. Here, I just wanted to share this meme. I thought it was fun.
I lost a lot of respect for some podcasters one time when I heard them say the Austin Power movies got better as they went along.
Oh, God.
That the third one was the best. And I was like, I don't think I can listen to you anymore.
Yeah.
As a podcaster, that's one of the most horrifying things I've ever heard them say.
Sounds like a bunch of retards.
Were we doing that? Oh, okay, cool.
Just trying to.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.